Breaking news. Illorin Indegenes sent an open letter of warning to Femi Fani Kayode. One of the Illorin prominent scholars, Dr. Adams Abdullahi, sent a warning message to Femi Kayode over his controversial comments on the newly appointed Chief of Staff of Nigeria, Prof. Ibrahim Gambari. The letter goes thus: before now, I had remained silent to all the irrational and lunatic comments on Femi Fani Kayode on many prominent Nigerians. But now, he has jumped into a river. He knows nothing about its depth, history of Illorin, and the appointment of Prof. Ibrahim Gambari. First, there wasn't any Oba in Illorin before the establishment of the Emirates in 1823 to 1824, although Are Afonja was the generalissimo of the Oyo Empire and fourth of his generation in Illorin after Lededrin, Passing, and Ilugbe. It is a fact that the Oyo annexed Illorin in the 17th century by Alaafin Ogiji to protect the Agbominas from the North's incursion. However, Illorin had been in existence century before Oyo authorities. Femi, your lack of historical facts made you say Arewa Afonja rebel against Oyo. Now, let me lecture you. The animosity started when Alaafin Ali became the king of the Oyo Empire. As it is the tradition to execute all Alaafin's view or perceived enemies for his peaceful reign. King Alo was asked by his chief of chiefs the names of his enemies. The king first mentioned one Bale, Akpomu, and the man was quickly killed. The Alaafin was asked further of the last person, and he replied thus: my last enemy is more formidable than me. Surprised, the chief asked again, and the king said that Afonja in Illorin. All of them alarmed and scared because Afonja was the most powerful man in the entire Oyo Empire. Ale and his chiefs later came up with a grand plan to execute Afonja, but the General Simon's spy quickly ran to Illorin and briefed him. This was the beginning of the crisis that later frustrated the king and made him to commit suicide. But therefore, his death caused the entire Yoruba race and Afonja and Oyo Mercy and other generals declared war against Afonja and sought the help of his friend Sali Janta, aka Alimi, and together they embarked on a defensive war against Oyo end of class. Femi Kayode also demonstrated his historical naivety by saying that Alimi killed Afonja and all his children. The class continues that Femi, the crisis that led to the death of Afonja was not between him and his friend Alimi, but between Afonja and the slave soldiers who were rampaging the city after the wars. After the death of Alimi, there was a confrontation between Afonja and the slave soldiers, which led to the death of the Generali Samo. There are 2 points to be noted here by my students. One Alimi was no longer alive when the fight occurred between Afonja and the soldiers. All Afonja's children were not killed, and that is why there is a noble family of Magaji Are in Illorin till date. On the issue of Masu Jamba, it is like Femi Kayode does not know its historical origin before opening his stinking mouth to talk. The name was given to Illorin by the Ibadans, who closed the only route to the coast against Illorin during the Illorin-Ibadan wars as economic blockage to force Illorin to surrender. Instead, Illorin formed an alliance with Ijaye to navigate Abeokuta and down to Eko. When the Ibadans discovered, they said that Masu Jamba Mani àwọn Illorin yìí. The name was as a result of Illorin's higher thinking capacity and diplomacy, and not as a result of betrayal. Now to the appointment of Prof. Ibrahim Gambari. Femi Kayode, you were talking about Islamization and Fulanization of Nigeria. Are you talking about the hard work of your election rigging and selfish father, who was a slave of the North during his lifetime? So, you are not insulting the global citizen, Prof. Gambari, but your late father, the dismiss of late Chief of Staff Abakari, left a vacuum in the government, and the president exercised his power and appointed a trustworthy person, competent and resourceful man in Prof. Gambari, and you once again ignited your madness sense to talk evil about an international public service and servants and lecturers of highest repute, who your father is not qualified to clean his shoes. Femi, I am not surprised, because this your show of shame shows that you are not a bastard, but a true son of your father. It was your father that taught you how to be responsible and the trick of stealing from public treasury. Baba ìyá ti mọ ọmọ rẹ̀ burúkú. When President Obasanjo thought that he should feature young people in his administration and appointed you as the Minister of Aviation, what did you do? You stole the country dry plus. You dry plus the money laundry in 2015. I can't wait to see justice being served on your corruption case in court. The country needs those monies to build hospitals and roads in your village. Femi, enough of your madness. If you need help, I can introduce you to a counselor friend of mine, and I will pay the bill. Or if it's a psychiatric hospital that you need, there is a famous one in Lagos where you can be treated, and I will also pay for the bills. I have decided to be taking you and others like you to cleaners anytime you show any sign of madness. Lest I forget, let me remind you of the song of betrayal that the Yoruba people sang for your father, declaring him as a black sheep. Fani Kayode, Jegbese Ote. Femi Kayode, Jegbese Ote. If you are not careful, your own song is under composition. Ọmọ ọ̀sán tí kò pọmọ bá ìyá ẹ̀. Thank you, viewers, for listening to this news. This is tough. Who is this person that is saying such a thing about Femi, Fani, Kayode? No matter what happens, all this talk from this person is not called for. No matter what anybody do to you, you don't need to come on the social media to say such an horrible word about such a person, about Femi, Fani, Kayode, or his father. You people should settle the statements that he uttered between him and Gambari, not all this exposure of him and his father being thieves, being idiots, and being mad, and be sent to psychiatric hospital. You don't need all this. You don't need all this. You have been silent till now. Femi, Fani, Kayode does not deserve all this. I had my word, only one word I have to say, and I will round up, is that it's either you take it or leave it. Femi, Fani, Kayode remains the voice of the voiceless. Gambari remains a Fulani man, and that is it. Or whatever you call yourself, whosoever that wrote this article is just a nobody. It's just a nobody, because if you are not a nobody, you won't come on a social platform and say such a thing about a reputable man like Femi, Fani, Kayode. So viewers, this is all I have to say. So what is your take on this news that you just heard or listened to? Your comment is very much needed. Drop them below the comment box. Click on the subscription button as well as the bell button to receive updates whenever I publish new videos. And don't forget, share and like this news as well. Thank you.